Welcome back to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm finishing up my review of Haslab Transformers Generations Legacy Omega Prime. We are actually going to create Omega Prime this time. In addition, I did realize there's, I think, just one, I'm sure I've missed more stuff, but one feature I wanted to show off for Ultra Magnus and Blue Bolts here that I missed from the last video. Blue Bolts obviously is in his gun mode. Like I've shown previously, you can kind of break him apart into his constituent pieces. And he does have storage as these individual pieces, which I really appreciated. It's all on Ultra Magnus, and it all essentially helps fill out Ultra Magnus's hollow spots, which I think is really neat. First, we can take our torso for Blue Bolts. If we open up Ultra Magnus's chest, we untab his little neck platform. You can see there's a peg right here. There's a port right here. It's just going to go in his chest. There we go. We can bring things back down and we can close it up. It does help, that helps fill that out. It's still gappy and stuff, but it's nice that that's included. We can turn Ultra Magnus around, and he's got obviously these big hollow sections of his legs. We can fill those out by folding up these pieces like so. And they do have pegs that can go into ports. Again, just kind of filling out these sections. It doesn't add much, but it's, a little bit of additional mass, and it is storage. If you don't want Blue Bolts out in robot mode and you don't want him in his combined mode and you're not weaponizing him, there is still a place to stick him. Same thing with these guns right here. These are just going to go, they've got pegs that can go into these side slots. Oop. Right here. I just had it in the wrong configuration. Same thing. This piece comes in this way, flip this piece around, and then flip this. Goes in right there. And then the last two pieces, these really, all we're doing is sticking them into these holes here in the back. They just kind of, stuck them wherever. But there you can have Ultra Magnus filled out. He's got a little bit more mass on him with Blue Bolts' help. And if you wanted to store things like this, now you got them all taken care of. Now, let's get to the actual transformation. I'm going to remove all the Blue Bolt stuff. I don't need to show that again on camera because we're going to use his blaster form. But we start out our transformation. You got to start it out, especially because they added the thumb thing. You can do the handshake thing, which I really appreciate. So you get your Autobot leader brothers, Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus, shaking hands. And again, I like the scale that Ultra Magnus is this big boy. I feel like maybe he might be a little too big compared to non-super mode Optimus Prime. But it still works really well for me. But it's simple enough to start his transformation by flipping around. We're basically unplugging all these pieces like so, and they can come back in on the other side. Not quite on the other side because we have these two pieces here that need to plug in on this side here. There are some things that we got to do to prep Optimus Prime, so we're going to do those first. All right, we're going to rip off Ultra Magnus's other arm. And again, it just unfolds like so. We're going to leave it closing up this hand and getting it back. Leave that. This one opens up to reveal the Omega Prime hand. This is like one of my favorite little tricks the toy does. I love that it's like, oh, here's the arm, and then you flip it the other way, and then there's the other hand. We can come in here, and we're going to split if we can. There we go. Get our torso off, and we've got legs. Optimus Prime here we're going to bring down his arms, these little forearm pieces. We're going to put away this head. We just slide it back like we did for a super mode and tuck that away and expand his torso again, basically kind of prepping him for his super mode stuff. We're going to fold up the feet and we're going to lift up, bring in this section, closing up. And I believe this is everything we need to do to have Optimus Prime ready for that combined mode. Combining Omega Prime from the ground up, we are going to start with Ultra Magnus's legs, split those. We already have the hands done. We'll do the chest last. With these split, we can take them behind. We're going to flatten out this crotch piece, and it's going to come down, and it'll actually peg in nicely in the back. Same thing on this piece. Flatten out the crotch, swing it down. It'll peg in like so. Then we can flip up these knee pads on either side, and we're going to flip out this piece. We can come in and we're going to open the toes and then bring this whole section down like so. With that, we can open this piece up, flip the whole thing around, and we can take the leg. It'll actually come in half, which will give us a spot to peg in. Oh, bring it up. There we go. A spot to peg that piece in. And this comes down like so. We're going to close up our scaffolding. Done. And then this piece will come up and it'll hold our, bring that down. There we go. Peg in to hold our shin piece. And this is what we need for his foot. Same thing on the other side. So we've already done this piece. We're opening up the foot, bringing the whole thing down. Oh, knocking over Optimus Prime. Taking this section, opening it up so we can rotate it up. Lets us bring about this piece up to swing down the foot. And it does engage kind of softly, but it does engage here. And then we can bring this down, and this will be ready to close up when we actually put it on Optimus. So here are our feet sections. We've got our arms to either side, and now we've got our Ultra Magnus torso to handle. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up this piece. We're going to take this section and flip it back around like so. We're going to take our head, flip that piece, and fold it up, kind of tucking it in and away. You can take this section, we're going to bring it down this way so that now when we orient our backpack, we can see we've got this as our new chest piece, and the wings still fold where we want them to. We have what were Ultra Magnus's arms. We're going to straighten out these little blue bars and swing them out to either side. That unlocks these blue pieces here. So these are out, and we'll orient them so that, there we go, they're out of the way. We can rotate the dark blue piece of the assembly down and keep that out of the way. Then we can come and we're going to drop down here, and we can see kind of the Omega Prime torso. We're going to untab, and this is pretty loosely connected, so I tend to, this tab tends to be tighter than the hole that's on, but you can put it back on. We're going to untab the wings of his chest on either side. Same thing here, untabbing it. We're not moving this assembly. This is actually where it needs to be, but we want to take these side doors and move them to the side on either side. like so. Let's us take these blue pieces, fold them up for now, and then we can take these shoulder pad pieces, bringing these up and bringing out these like little shoulder cover sections. Then we can come in and get our thumb, folding up our Omega Prime head. Now this whole assembly, if I can avoid knocking something over for 2 seconds, this whole assembly is on a double joint. We're going to bring it up on that joint and then bring it down to collapse it back in place, kind of shortening up his torso, making it a little more reasonable there. We're not going to do his wings, the wing ears, because those I like to do last. We are going to take this whole section, moving this up a little bit and out, collapsing this piece down, kind of covering up his matrix. And then we can hold the whole thing down like so. All right, and that is the last of our Omega Prime pieces. So now we have the torso, the hands, the feet. Let's combine them up with, come on. Let's combine them up with our Optimus Prime. Okay, the first step of doing Omega Prime is to remember that you forgot to do a step. This flap needs to come down. The reason why is because it creates a peg, and this is what actually grabs the feet. I definitely forgot about that. Come on this side. There you go. Okay, so step one of actually combining it is done. We're taking our Omega Optimus Prime foot. Again, it's going to fit right in here. It's got little ledges to grab the sides of the foot, and then it pegs in pretty securely, which I appreciate. We do have a peg and a port, a couple of them. This one goes in on the back here. Then this one goes in on the side here. This one goes in on the front, and this closes up. So that's like, it's pegged in from 4 sides of a cube. That is a very secure connection, and I really like that. That's a nice, satisfying bit of combination. Same thing on this side. We gotta open that back up so we can see. But we stomp the foot down, it slides in very smoothly. We get that port and peg in. We get this red piece around where it needs to be, so that gray piece pegs into it. Coming around here, that locks in, and then this locks in. There we go. And I mean, look at that. That is a very solid bit of leg work. That feels that feels really nice. I think it's better than the Haslab Star Saber combination. Once again, he's big enough that I got to kind of get things back a little bit. I'm probably going to do a short at some point comparing the Haslabs, because again, just with how busy life is in the travel, I haven't had time to get the stuff unpacked yet to do proper comparisons. But he looks fantastic. I mean, Omega Prime is a character that I have strong nostalgia for. This was like, Car Robots was a cartoon that I watched. I was probably 10, 11, 12. But I really, really liked this like Optimus Prime character that I wasn't that familiar with because I didn't know G1 Ultra Magnus. And then in the final episodes when they made Omega Prime, it was really, really cool. He has most of the same articulation he did before, not all the same. The shoulders are a bit more limited, but he does have rotation within those shoulders. No problems there. He does have bicep swivel. He does have wrist swivel. He's got 2 joints on his knuckles, his legs. The nice thing is, like, even though the joints aren't super secure, unless you're really shaking him around, he will hold poses, and you can get his skirt up, so we can kick things up a little bit. You know, if you want to get him into kind of a menacing, protecting the Autobots from the evil forces of the Decepticons look, you can absolutely get him like towering over your other bots. He has that sort of shelf presence. I really, really like how he came together, and the fact that he is posable instead of just being a brick, to me, is like a cherry on top with everything else he needs to do. Obviously, we still have the super mode armor in the background. We do have, of course, our Buster gun, which can sit on top. He's got those 2 pegs on the gray side that go on top of these blue pieces, peg right in. So he can do that, and again, looks freaking fantastic. As well as, I haven't talked about the Matrix sword, but here is the Matrix sword. I did the short, I assembled it. It's a bunch of small pieces. You can kind of shorten things down if you want to by removing sections, by splitting it up. But why would you want to? Fitting it together is like the really cool thing that you can do with it. It is massive, but it should be massive. It was massive in the show. I love the paint on it. I like that it has some it looks like Energon writing. I like that it doesn't really have any hollow pieces. The whole thing looks great through and through. And it does have these grooves. So to put it in his hand, get the grooves lined up, close up his hand, theoretically. I do think there could have been a keying and locking mechanism that would have helped, but there is Omega Prime, and again, I can't even get the whole sword. We got to go back even further. There is Omega Prime, and he's compatible with the stands behind him and everything. Just incredible shelf presence, a really massive figure, a fantastic playset. Again, a big marring point of this is the design flaw that he has. That does put a damper on what is otherwise such an excellent Haslab. It might be my favorite of the Haslab so far. I really, really enjoy it. I already sent a note to Hasbro about the flaw in my second set. So if you are interested in getting a set and you didn't already back him, don't worry. Once again, this year when we do Extra Life, I'll be sending out hopefully a fixed and corrected Omega Prime set to one of our donors. Thanks everybody for watching. I know this was 3 videos and they were all long and it was a whole mess of stuff, but I appreciate you sticking with me and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!